So our in-house agency really is the driver of creative for our brand. We do not work with any external agencies right now. So we're it. So we are constantly ideating, coming up with new approaches. And my creative director always has a great saying when we start talking about new ideas, and she says to suspend reality, right? Let's talk about things as if there were no boundaries, no lines to color within, whatnot, and then let's bring it back to reality. And that's where a lot of the really great ideas come from. It's like when you don't think about boundaries and you just think about all of the possibilities, and then you can bring them back to what would work for the brand. So we are actually just launching a totally new brand strategy, a new campaign that has a totally different approach for the brand, and so that came to play in a lot of what we did for our new campaign.
Great, great, and of course you have a great close relationship with your customers. You understand sort of what they want and what they buy. How does sort of information about consumer preference drive creativity, if it does?
Sure. So we're a very data-driven organization, which is great because that does funnel to our team to help make decisions on how we are going to talk to our customers, what would resonate with them. We also, with all of our creative, do consumer testing before we put it in market to make sure that we are, breaking through the clutter, that we are resonating, that our message is not, turning people off, that we want to make sure that we're, inspiring people and getting them excited about the Trunk Club brand. So research and data definitely comes into play a lot with our brand, and that, that tells us a lot about our consumers, and it helps us understand who we're targeting, how to talk to them, and really what's going to, to get them to take notice.
So what about customizing ads? What are your thoughts about that? Because you have different buyers who have different interests and different age groups, I suppose, and there's this discussion we've been pursuing about creative optimization or optimizing a creative for particular people, which is complicated, but what are you doing there, or what would you like to do in that space?
So that's a great question, and I think with dynamic content, you can definitely speak more closely to your audiences and be more relevant. It's something that we are dipping our toes in the water a little bit with at Trunk Club. We are doing some dynamic content on radio that allows us to be a little bit more specific to the markets that we're targeting and to be more relevant. So I think that all of that content optimization and being hyper targeted and really relevant to your audience obviously helps the message resonate a little bit more. It's something that I think we will start to branch into a little bit deeper after this current test with radio, and I think it's exciting.
Cool. And finally, you presented to the group yesterday. What are your hopes that the group here takes away from your experience, what you had to say on stage and conversations off stage?
So I think the key takeaways from my presentation yesterday about getting to that perfect intersection of right and interesting for your brand would just be for people to be a little bit more bold and perhaps take a little bit edgier of an approach to their advertising. I mentioned in my talk yesterday that we're bombarded with like up to 10,000 messages a day. So how do you break through the clutter and really stand out as a brand? And so I think it's really, I said, fortune favors the bold, and hopefully people will go back to their their work on Monday and be a little bolder and be a little bit more excited about what they're doing for their brand.